Hey everyone, a couple of months ago, S&S Worldwide posted an official animation for their new Axis Coaster model, and it's been gaining a lot of attention ever since. And although I, and many others, think it looks amazing, I don't think it's going to become a popular model at all, and therefore be a flop. So, in this analysis video, I'll be going over 4 reasons why I think the S&S Axis Coaster will ultimately become a failed model. Starting with reason 1, cost. Now, the official cost for an Axis coaster hasn't been revealed yet, but one could assume that it'd be very expensive. The trains and pretty much everything about the coaster are so technologically advanced, and there's no other ride model like it in the world. I'd also like to look at some similar advanced coasters by S&S with the Air Launch Coaster and the Fourth Dimension Coaster. There are only a handful of these coasters worldwide, and a part of that is because they aren't the cheapest. So just like those other 2 models, I think there'll only ever be a couple Axis coasters built. And for other reasons, which I'll get to later, I think parks will most likely skip this coaster when considering what their next big ride will be. The second reason is capacity. Each train looks to only have around 10 to 18 seats total, which would lead to awful capacity. Even if this coaster was able to run 3 trains, it still wouldn't be able to compete with other coaster models. And I'd like to mention the Air Launch and Fourth Dimension coasters once again, because these coaster types also have bad capacity. The only way I could see this ride having decent capacity is if it had a launch like the one coming to Saudi Arabia soon. But yet that coaster looks like it can only run 1 train, so who knows? Because of the bad hourly capacity this model has, I can't imagine any large amusement parks going for this option. But because of the expensive price tag, I also can't see any smaller parks buying an Axis coaster either. So that's already a problem. But on top of that, there are also a lot of other models in the theme park industry, which leads me to my third reason, competition. There are over 100 other models a park could look into when buying a new roller coaster. There are cheaper options like an RMC Raptor and higher capacity options like a B&M. The Axis coaster is a unique ride type, and I will say that advertising an Axis coaster would be extremely easy for a park, but other unique models would also be very easy for a park to advertise, like a surf coaster. Imagine you were in charge of buying a park's next major addition. Would you go for a consistently good model that you know gives a comfortable ride experience? Or would you take your chances with an Axis coaster just so it'd be easier to promote? Most people in that position would choose the first option. And that leads me to my final reason why the Axis coaster will ultimately be a flop, and that's reliability. Now, just like cost, we won't know for sure how reliable one of these rides will be until the one in Saudi Arabia opens, but just looking at how complex the coaster is, I'd assume not very reliable. With the amount of time and money it would take to maintain an Axis coaster, it doesn't seem like a good business decision to buy one. But who knows? Maybe the Axis coaster won't need much care, and it'll actually end up being a reliable roller coaster. The model itself looks well engineered, and I like S&S, so I'm hoping they'll prove me wrong. So those were my reasons why I think the S&S Axis coaster will be a failed model. If you take into consideration the cost, capacity, and reliability, then a park buying one of these coasters doesn't seem likely. If you have any different thoughts than me, then I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. I know this video was mostly me talking negatively about the model, but I do think the Axis coaster is very innovative, and if I ever get on one someday, then I have no doubt that it'd be a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear my thoughts on other theme park related topics, then please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching to the end, and have a good day.